Hi, this is Gary with Gary vs. Cars, and thank you for tuning in. This video is about the 29 Model A Roadster, the new frame, and we're going to be taking it apart and prepping it for the sandblaster and powder coating. So thank you for joining me. This spindle right here is gone. Looks like they really tried to crimp it so that bearing would stay in place. Luckily, I have another spindle, so I will replace that. It is ready for the sandblaster. I repaired a crack over here, just welded this, cleaned that up. I took off the front running board supports. They were cracked and welded. I have a pair that I'll put on there when it comes back from the sandblaster. What I tried to do was just kind of grind down any rough areas. I cleaned and degreased the entire frame. Not that it had a lot of grease on it, but it just makes it better for the sandblaster. You don't want to bring something grimy because sand doesn't go through grime and it'll just cost you extra time. So I made things super clean. Suspension is detached. I'm going to lift it off and off it goes to the sandblaster, and then I'll work on the sub-assemblies. I'm here with my buddy Joe from what is it?
Mr. Martin's Auto Service.
Mr. Martin's Auto Service. Joe's a certified ASE master mechanic, and he's helping me with this build. And today we disassembled the front steering linkage, and I'm going to walk you through it, what we found. Okay, here we are with a bunch of parts, and we disassembled everything, and I'll show you what we found. So we've got a really nice center support, center I-beam here. That's going to go to the sandblaster. We're going to leave the bushings in, and then we'll pop those out when they come back from the sandblaster. The drag link here is bent and worn. Luckily on the Model A, I have one that I can use. And also spindle here. This spindle is in really good shape, as well as the kingpin. Has a little galling, but overall we're going to polish it up, and I think we can use it. I love the fact that it has that little Ford, that vintage Ford logo there. The spring perches look pretty good. We're going to clean those up. They'll get new bushings and then get reamed. The shackles are gone. We'll replace those. And then steering linkage here. This is bent as well. Luckily, I have one on the other vehicle. Wishbone looks great. Wishbone is going to go to the sandblaster. We disassembled the springs. We're going to get those blasted and powder coated, and then put some anti-seize, I think some Teflon tape in between them, stack them again. And then over here, I mentioned this one yesterday. This is the spindle from the passenger side. And as you can see, I couldn't get the spindle off, and it's because they crimped it on, they punched it so it wouldn't come off. So this is worn. What we're gonna do is just, luckily I'll take the other spindle off the other car. Various components here come out with these really nice tools. This is a end tool, which put it in your best thing I've ever gotten right here, which is my snap-on drill. Joe got that for me for my birthday. Thank you, Joe. And this thing is high torque and just takes things off like butter. So put this in a 3/4 socket, zip it in here, and these spin right out. This right here is an easy steer kit. This is new Teflon cups, or I think it's polyurethane cups, and it's supposed to make your steering much easier. Let's see, just going through the parts here. What we're looking at here is there's a lot of just various oblonging. You can't really tell in the video, but there's some oblonging on some of these balls. So here you can see here, some scoring there. So some of these pieces are going to have to be replaced. Here's one you can tell that's really oblonged. So we're just going to replace these. They've done their time.
You can see it's out of shape here. It's not a perfectly round ball anymore.
Okay, so it's kind of like the ball and socket in your shoulder. So taking this thing apart, soaked it overnight in WD-40. Used a really long breaker bar. Gosh, that must have been 200-300 foot-pounds. It felt tough, but a really long breaker bar to to get these pieces off. They're one in an 1/8 and one in a 1/16. Hang on, sweetheart, I'm almost done with the video. So that's the suspension apart, the front suspension, and it's going to go to the sandblaster, and then it'll be time for reassembly. Any final thoughts?
Can't wait to see this thing back on the road.
So that concludes today's video. And when we come back next time, I'll have the parts back from the sandblaster. They'll have been powder coated, and we'll be assembling the frame, and I'll be taking all the parts off of this frame that I want to use, and I'll be putting them on the new 29 frame. So thank you. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing, and leave a comment if you like. So thanks for your time.